is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path.
First reading. A reading from the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verses 1, 4 to 11, 15 to 16, 27, and 34b to 37. The Lord said to Moses, "These are the festivals of the Lord which you shall celebrate at their proper time with a sacred assembly. The Passover of the Lord falls on the 14th day of the first month at the evening twilight. The 15th day of this month is the Lord's feast of unleavened bread. For 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. On the first of these days you shall hold a sacred assembly and do no sort of work. On each of the 7 days you shall offer an oblation to the Lord. Then on the 7th day you shall again hold a sacred assembly and do no sort of work." The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the children of Israel and tell them, when you come into the land which I am giving you and reap your harvest, you shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest to the priest, who shall wave the sheaf before the Lord, that it may be acceptable for you. On the day after the Sabbath, the priest shall do this. Beginning with the day after the Sabbath, the day on which you bring the wave offering sheaf, you shall count 7 full weeks. And then on the day after the 7th week, the 50th day, you shall present the new cereal offering to the Lord. The 10th of this 7th month is the day of atonement, when you shall hold a sacred assembly and mortify yourselves and offer an oblation to the Lord. The 15th day of this 7th month is the Lord's feast of booths, which shall continue for 7 days. On the first day there shall be sacred assembly, and you shall do no sort of work. For 7 days you shall offer an oblation to the Lord. And on the 8th day you shall again hold a sacred assembly and offer an oblation to the Lord. On that solemn closing you shall do no sort of work. These, therefore, are the festivals of the Lord, on which you shall proclaim a sacred assembly and offer as an oblation to the Lord burnt offerings and cereal offerings, sacrifices and libations, as prescribed for each day." This is the word of the Lord.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew. He came to his hometown and began to teach the people in their synagogue, so that they were astounded and said, "Where did this man get this wisdom and these deeds of power? Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary? And are not his brothers James and Joseph and Simon and Judas? And are not all his sisters with us? Where then did this man get all this?" And they took offense at him. But Jesus said to them, "Prophets are not without honor except in their own country and in their own house." And he did not do many deeds of power there because of their unbelief. The Gospel of the Lord.
Good morning to you. Today, as we enter into a new day, a day we celebrate the feast of Saint John Mary Vianney. Mary Vianney was a priest who put himself really into the life of Jesus. Now as we walk with the day of the Lord, as we are to do our work with the grace of God, St. John Mary Vianney tells us of living a life in humility and in acceptance of God's loving care. Now once St. John Mary Vianney wanted to climb a mountain where the shrine is. So he had no money. He put himself with the trust of God, asking everything. He went. And once he made the confession there, he was asked to go by giving what he has. This is how he began to be the humble person before God. Look for things necessary and coming back, giving everything and sharing things with the others. And today, as we live, we really want things. We want all facilities, all what is necessary to live life with happiness, and also making life with joy. But the joy and happiness also comes as true base to the extent that we share. So John Mary Vianney is a person who shared, and then also he gave the love of God in confessional. So at confessional, he really gave the love of God, and people in receiving this love became new people, and people who have really embraced God. And this is where the Lord Jesus speaks. This is where he becomes a powerful person working in us. So let's get the example of St. John Mary Vianney and become humble, share, and become joyful people as we spend the day for the Lord in this new day of God. God bless you. Have a blessed day.